Hey folks, how's it going this afternoon there? Well, it's a little bit late, but anyway. How'd you like that video that I done about the Monster Energy can? Isn't that amazing? And folks, I know that you might think that it's a little bit odd that I tell you that I'm one of the descendants of the Merovingian kings, but listen, I've got the disease to prove it even. I've got Parkinson's disease. It's a rare type of Parkinson's disease. Only that type of blood lineage people have. So, it's already been proven, I guess, that I'm a descendant of those people. I'm a little bit... God makes men what they are. Just like William Wallace says. But I'm a little bit, prideful of that sometimes. There's a story behind that. Maybe one day I'll tell you. I will tell you all about it. I just need the devices that I'm after in order to tell it. I'm going to show you this afternoon what my opinion of democracy is and the origins of democracy. Democracy. I have a lot of people who tell me, what are you, a Republican or a Democrat, Jerry? You know what I tell them whenever they ask that? I don't talk about fiction like it's real life. Well, what do you mean by that? Are you for Trump or are you for Biden? I don't talk about fiction like it's real life nonfiction. Okay? You take a look at some of the monuments that we have in the United States, and just to name off a few, folks, you start looking at the White House. The White House is actually made after the big White House in Egypt right there, of northern Egypt. That's what they called the big White House of Pharaoh. If you take a look at the Capitol Dome structure, what you have, that woman that sits on top of the Capitol Dome, that's Semiramis, Queen of Babylon, otherwise known as Isis of Egypt. If you take a look underneath the Capitol Dome and all the paintings and stuff that you have under there, there's Apollo and the Destroyer and a lot of different Greek and Babylonian gods and stuff that's underneath that thing. There's no depictions of some group of men that ended up worshiping Jesus Christ along with Peter and all that. There's none of that stuff under there. It's all about the Greek gods and stuff under that Capitol Dome. Then when you go outside and you take a look at that so-called big war monument that we have, it's an obelisk, all that is the phallus of Horus. It's all Freemasonic, people. And you people still think that we're living in some kind of free country here. That's what gets me. It's ridiculous, man. I don't talk about fiction. Listen, people, democracy is a podium for the commoners, the stupid people, okay? And if you think that we are electing presidents in this country, you're part of that Horus matrix. That's just, you're living in an illusion. It's important when we talk about this topic to know the difference between the old world order and the new world order. Okay? The old world order was the conglomeration of the monarchs of kings, queens, dukes, knights, bishops, archbishops, archdukes, whose property you were. They took your women into prime noctus, or the first night of the noble lord, to sleep with them, to spread their pharaonic genetics. Okay? They They owned all the land. They owned all the property. They owned the castle, the church. They owned you. They owned the livestock. They owned your children. They owned it all. That was the old world order that existed for thousands of years, that stemmed over from Egypt, in which they had enslaved everybody, over to the aristocrats, which are the pharaonic blood lineages of today, of the kings and queens. And they owned it all, folks, from an aristocratic point of view instead of an Egyptian pharaonic point of view. You go from the 11th century or around 1000 AD forward, they owned every bit of it through their monarch rule. So I guess whenever the term democracy come around, according to some of you people that's going to tell me my video is just a pile of bull, they just, after owning it all over, they just laid it all down on the ground and walked away and let you people have it, right? Is that what you're going to tell me? It's actually funny when you think about it, that you people would actually think these people would do that. The New World Order is what I want to talk about today. The New World Order ended up coming about when the French Revolution took place. The commoners were revolting badly against the aristocracy, and some of them they actually ended up managing to behead them eventually because they got sick of them. And so then you had the big revolution that took place, the Bolshevik Revolution that took place, in which Lenin and Trotsky beheaded the czars of Russia. And it scared the rest of the aristocracy to death, folks. It did. And it actually, the whole New World Order thing kind of took hold real good at that point in time, but it had already been in place for some time. What they had done is simply this. They knew that they were fighting amongst one another. The primogenitors, or the ones who sat upon the throne, the firstborn sons, were being poisoned by the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth-born sons, and those sons found their own kingdom in Switzerland under the Knights Templars, where all the money is, by the way. That's where King Solomon's temple is, or King Solomon's treasure temple. The temple treasure is in Switzerland, folks. You ever heard the old deal, you can't hide money? That's where it went to. They took the money out of King Solomon's temple, and they headed west with it, and they founded Switzerland with it, and now that's where they loan all this big money that you see loaned out in the world. It isn't a thing in the world but King Solomon's treasure, folks. That's all it is. That's why there's so much money in Switzerland. But anyway, under this New World Order, the founder of this was actually a Knights Templar, and his name was Jaque DEMO. And when the whole idea of democracy come around, they all got together, non-primogenitor and primogenitora alike, got together. And they said, let's create an illusion system in which we let the sheep take two of our controlled candidates, of which we control, and we will give them the illusion through an election that they actually have a choice of one of the two candidates. And that way, from a mental standpoint, we control them because they feel like that they actually put themselves in the choice they have. And then When they did this was Jaque DEMO that come up with this, okay? So DEMO come up with it, and they said, one of them raised up and said, "That is an excellent idea, sire. An excellent idea." He said, "Yes, it's rather ingenious, isn't it? We have these stupid commoners doing this, don't we? It is excellent, sire. It's an excellent idea, sire. You can do it, old boy. You can do it, old boy." Then they said, "What are you going to call this new system that you got, Jaque?" He said, "I shall name it after my name, DEMO. We shall call it Demo-ocracy." And they said, "That is that is an excellent idea, sire. May I congratulate you, sire. You can do it, old boy. You can do it, old boy." It's sickening, people, that you all actually believe you're living in a democracy. By the way, this was exactly what got Jaque DEMO killed. Because on Friday the 13th, King Philippe IV of France and Pope Pius III burnt Jaque DEMO, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templars, to death on the stake. And their sense of reasoning is they accused him of worshiping the Baphomet, is what it was. But there was really, in all fairness, in all honesty to DEMO, what King Philippe IV actually didn't want to do is he did not want to give up his power to the New World Order. He wanted to retain his power as a monarch, thus coining the phrase Friday the 13th. So now you know when Friday the 13th rolls around, that wasn't because Jason carved up a bunch of people at Lake Crystal right there with a machete, folks, okay? It was the last Grand Master of the Knights Templars was put to death at that day. And actually the Templars they are still the guards at the cathedral in Rome. But in these last days, folks, the Knights Templars will come back out of the Masons and they will show themselves again. Matter of fact, if I really am not mistaken, I do believe at this point in time that not only the Pope Francis that you have right now is a black pope of the Jesuit order, but I also think he is also the modern day anointed next Grand Master of the Knights Templars. I think he has 4 or 5 titles at this point in time. He is also the High Order of Malta too, if you understand these things now, okay? But now you have the history of democracy made by Jaque DEMO. You can do it, old boy. It's sickening, folks. Keep thinking that you're electing presidents, folks, and they keep running the country under the Mason lodges, which, by the way, every American president you've ever had has had one major blood lineage to the English crown. And they've all been Masons, every one of them. And you people still just keep watching that television set thinking you're electing presidents. Keep on keeping on with your illusion, people. They ought to take out all our history books of the presidents and stuff, and they need to stick it in the fiction section in the library. Because that's where it belongs, okay? You can do it, Toad Bird. Y'all have a good afternoon.